Hey everybody, it's Megan from Making KC Guitar. Hope you're all having a good day. It is my 2-year-old's birthday today, and I still am finding time to sneak away and talk to you guys because I'm kind of obsessed with what I do. So, hello, I have to go make a cake in a minute, but I'm here because I want to talk to you about something really important. And that is how we're kind of all our own worst enemies when it comes to learning something new. So I'm going to go over some things that I hear as excuses or as really just thoughts that hold you back. And I hear these from my adult students. I do not hear them from kids. And if I do, no, I really don't. Kids don't say this crap. So number 1, I'm not talented. I always find that so funny when people say that because generally the person who's saying this has never had a music lesson in their life. They have not had any background or experience, but they're deciding that fate has not bequeathed them the gift of music. So this is just ridiculous, for one. Most musicians are good because of how hard they've worked and how long they've been playing and how they've had really good people mentoring them and coaching them through the process. I think there are prodigies out there. But for the most part, if you've got friends that play the guitar and you're like, man, I wish I could play like that guy or that girl, they're just people who have practiced really hard, or that's it. So you can start getting in the hours of exposure and practice that you're gonna need to get there. You gotta start somewhere, and it's gonna take time. So you probably are musically talented, you just haven't unearthed it yet in yourself. So don't say that. Say, I'm talented at this. I don't know. I kind of hate the word talent in general, honestly. Okay, the next thing I hear is I'm too old. And I'm guilty of this too. I know I look so ancient, right? But I think I've said this to myself in regards to I'm too old to change careers, or I'm too old to start a business. And that's so dumb. Why are we saying this? I've had people who were like 25 tell me they're too old to play the guitar. And of course I've heard it from people who are 70, 75. And I think society tends to tell you that, sorry, your time is past. But you're the one who gets to decide what you do with your days, and you get to decide how you're going to use the wonderful brain and the wonderful body you've been given. And it might take some different strategy. It might take more time. It might take more repetition. If you are older, we won't define what that age is, but it's definitely something that's possible. I've even had people who have a little bit of arthritis or some kind of a physical limitation, and there are things that you can do. There are ways around it. I had a friend, her husband is a builder, and he cut off part of one of his fingers in the last few months, and he did end up losing like the tip of his finger. And I had the thought like, oh, what would I do without a finger? That's like my entire livelihood is this. And I thought really long and hard about it, and I really it's like, no, they're all precious, I need all of them. But if I were to lose a finger, I honestly think that I would find a way to still be able to play the guitar. I would just have to play it differently. And there are definitely those people who do incredible things despite their physical limitations. So I think the rest of us have absolutely no excuse. So thank you for inspiring people out there. So you're not too old. You're not. Number 3. And this is a really common sad tale, is I've tried it before and I get to a certain point and I just can't get past it, and then I quit. And some people will quit for a decade, and then they'll come back and they'll kind of have to start from square one, and they might repeat this process every 10 years until they're 60, and they're just really stuck. And the problem with this, I'm not blaming anybody, but there is a gap in the sequence somewhere if that's what's going on. When you are a beginner, you need a solid foundation. There are things that you have to know. There are things that your muscles in your hands have to learn how to do. So you can't be learning something that's over here with a skill set that's back here. It's just, you got to fill in the gaps. So if you have tried and just keep hitting that wall, there's a gap that needs to be filled in somewhere, and someone needs to walk you through the best strategies to get through there. And there are, of course, strategies to help you. So please don't lose hope. You can do it. It's just, you may not be able to do it on your own. YouTube is a wonderful thing, and I'm happy to provide free content on it, as are many other people, and that can be great. But it also can be confusing and overwhelming because, okay, there's literally millions of things to choose from, and as the learner, you don't necessarily know what you need. We do. We know. And there are, you can hire a private teacher, there are many online courses, there's a lot you can do to help fill in those gaps. So that's a frustrating tale, and that makes me sad to hear. But I've had many people come to me like that who were able to work past that, and they can get back their confidence and they can start having fun with it again. So the next thing I hear is that I'm probably the slowest student you've ever had. I literally have had more people than I can count say those words to me. That's so sad. Stop it, you guys. No, you are not the slowest student I've ever had. And even if you are, I don't care. Like, I'm just here to help. And that is the case with many of us that are guitar teachers. We are teaching because we love it and it makes us happy, and it's super exciting to see other people progress. It really is. I really get giddy when I see someone overcome something that was frustrating them, and it does not have to be anything big. It can be, I could never get my finger to hold the D chord this way and finally I can do it. That is totally worth celebrating. And you are not the slowest student I've ever had. And don't say stuff like that to yourself, because that's just reinforcing. So if you believe that about yourself, your brain is going to look for evidence that that's the truth. So every time you make a mistake, or every time you're having a more difficult time with some particular skill, your brain's going to reinforce that. See, I told you were slow. And that is not the kind of attitude you want when you're learning a new instrument. You need to support yourself, and you need to be your biggest fan and your biggest cheerleader. And I think it's so healthy, like, to have the gold star mentality. I'm such a dork. I sometimes give my adult students gold stars because I'm like, that was awesome. You totally did this. So you got to just like pat yourself on the back, and every little gain is a gain that you got to take. So I think every step is worth celebrating. So another thing is comparing yourself to other guitar players. I'll be real with you here. This is one I have also really struggled with, and that's mostly because I'm a woman. Most of the guitar players that I know are men, and all of my teachers were men. My dad is who I kind of emulated. He plays, and my brother plays. But I just remember when I was young hearing the sound of an acoustic guitar and thinking it was the most beautiful sound in the world. So like, I know that I'm meant to be a guitar player, I chose it, but I was always intimidated by anyone who was a male. And that's definitely probably a cultural thing, but I would compare my playing to theirs, and a lot of the times, guys are playing a little more aggressively than I would, so I would equate that to they are better than me. And this held me back for years. And sure, there's plenty of guitar players that are better than me, but that doesn't take away what I have, and it doesn't take away my joy in playing. And it also doesn't mean that I can't learn to do the exact same things they're doing. So don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to you. And I've talked about this in one of my other videos, but the best way you can compare yourself to you is to take videos of yourself when you're a beginner. Just a little recording of you playing Jingle Bells or whatever it is, and then a year later, after you've been working, you can go and see how much progress you've made. And it doesn't matter if you go and listen to some prodigy on YouTube, you'll amaze yourself with what you're able to do. So no comparisons. Don't do it. Well, you can be inspired. Be inspired by other players. We should all just be here encouraging each other. So that's my favorite thing. So I think when it comes right down to it, you got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I want this? Who am I doing this for? And I really hope that you're doing it for you. I hope you're doing this because you're willing to invest in yourself. I know so many moms who always say to me, like, I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, but I don't have time with my kids and blah, blah, blah. And I know that that's probably a true statement, but you gotta have something that's your thing. It can be a huge source of just joy and self-esteem and a way to identify yourself out of whatever else it is that you do. Oh boy, I tell you, I just love answering, like, yeah, I'm a guitar player, I'm a guitar teacher, I have 2 kids also, and I do, I like to do all kinds of other things, but it's so cool to have that as something that makes you unique and something that you enjoy. And I think we're lucky in the guitar world because the guitar is awesome. Everyone likes it. No one's going to be like, well, you picked a dumb instrument. It's clearly awesome. So I hope that this buoys you up, and I hope that you can have more confidence. Whatever it is that your brain is telling you that is holding you back, you don't have to believe those thoughts anymore. You can just let them go. Okay, I can do this. The new belief is, I am a guitar player, this is where I am on the journey, and this is where I have to go, and I'm going to get there. So, thanks for watching. I hope this was uplifting. And yeah, that's all I got to say. I got to run upstairs and frost a cake. And I'm really bad at cooking, so I never identify myself as a baker, but I'll see you guys later.